This case takes us to the city of Gresham, Oregon, in 1980. On January 15th, a diligent young woman named Barbara Tucker was completing assignments in her apartment before heading to a night class. Barbara was looking forward to finishing her final class so she could meet up with a friend later that evening. She had agreed to go to her friend's house, and from there, the two would go out together. As time passed, Barbara packed her notebook and supplies and made her way to the college campus. Her professor noticed her absence immediately. Barbara had never missed a class before. While her absence was unusual, no one assumed the worst. They figured she might be sick or dealing with an emergency. That night, Barbara never showed up at her friend's house. Her friend tried calling, but couldn't reach her, assuming Barbara must have had some last-minute obligation. The next day, a student walking to class through a shrub-covered path made a horrifying discovery: Barbara's lifeless body behind some bushes. She had been brutally beaten, and medical examiners later confirmed she had also been assaulted. Nearby, investigators found her book bag and purse discarded. Barbara was just 19 years old. Her friends and family described her as kind and agreeable, making it hard to imagine who would want to harm her. Her parents shared that Barbara dreamed of opening an arts and crafts store after earning her business degree. In her free time, she enjoyed knitting, crocheting, and playing basketball. At 5 feet 7 inches, she had been a member of her high school varsity team. Barbara grew up with 7 siblings, all of whom she shared a deep bond with. After news of her death spread, witnesses came forward. Several reported seeing Barbara the night before her body was found, appearing distressed as she waved frantically at passing cars. No one stopped. Many assumed it was a college prank. Some witnesses even claimed they saw a man hiding in the woods behind her. Unfortunately, due to the darkness, no one could provide a detailed description of the suspect. With no personal enemies, police concluded Barbara's murder was a random attack, meaning the killer could strike again. The case went cold for years, until 2015, when new detectives revisited it. They sent DNA evidence to Parabon Labs, and after 6 years of analysis, they identified a suspect, 58-year-old Robert Plimpton. Investigators surveilled Plimpton, collecting a discarded piece of gum he spat out. The DNA matched the crime scene evidence. He was arrested during a traffic stop, described by officers as calm and polite, hardly the image of a violent killer. However, his past revealed a darker side. In the late 1990s, a woman accused him of attacking her during a date. Though charges were dropped due to insufficient evidence, his pattern of violence toward women became clear. In 2024, Robert Plimpton was charged with first-degree murder and assault. He pleaded not guilty, but his sentencing is set for June 21, 2024. Barbara's sister, Susan, expressed bittersweet relief, wishing their parents had lived to see justice. Authorities believe Plimpton may be linked to other unsolved murders. Our next case takes us to Stevens Point, Wisconsin. In 1995, 13-year-old Jessica Mullenberg was the victim of a longtime stalker, Stephen Oliver. Jessica's parents, Monica and Dale, were divorced, with Monica having primary custody. On the weekend of September 16th, Jessica was staying with her father when Dale called Monica in a panic, saying, "Jessica is gone." Monica was furious, accusing Dale of negligence. Initially, Dale suggested Jessica had run away, but Monica knew that made no sense. Jessica had no reason to flee. Pressed for answers, Dale revealed Jessica had been with their neighbor, Stephen Oliver. Stephen had first encountered Jessica years earlier when she was in elementary school. He ran a riding club she joined, using it as a way to groom her. When Jessica's family moved, Stephen followed, relocating near Dale's trailer. Monica had once confronted Stephen about his inappropriate behavior, but he played the role of a concerned single father. Jessica often visited his home to play with his son, unaware of his sinister intentions. On the day she vanished, Stephen lured Jessica with a lie. A publisher wanted to meet her about her writing. Dale allowed her to go, oblivious to the danger. Once in the car, Stephen bound Jessica's hands and feet. He brainwashed her, telling her no one loved her and that she was now Cindy Johnson. He flew with her to Houston, Texas, where he kept her locked in a motel room, assaulting her daily. Jessica tried to escape, but Stephen had disabled the phone. She felt hopeless, believing his lies that no one was searching for her. Meanwhile, Monica and law enforcement spread Jessica's face across America. A breakthrough came when the motel manager recognized them from America's Most Wanted. On December 28, 1995, 104 days after her abduction, the FBI stormed the motel. Jessica was freed, but the psychological damage lingered. She struggled to believe she was safe, having been conditioned to think of herself as Cindy. Stephen Oliver was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Jessica, now an adult, has rebuilt her life with a family of her own. Our final case takes us to Los Angeles in 1976. Karen Sue Kloss, a 33-year-old mother, was living with her husband, Gerald, and their child. On a late January morning, Karen dropped her child at preschool and returned home. Later, friends arrived for a planned gathering, but found Karen missing. Peering through her windows, they spotted a disheveled man inside, a known local prowler. Police were called, and they found Karen unconscious, her clothing torn. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. Despite being rushed to the hospital, she slipped into a coma and died days later. For decades, the case went unsolved. In 2016, DNA evidence finally identified the killer, Kenneth Troyer, a violent criminal who had died in 1982 during a prison escape. Though justice came too late for Karen, her family could finally close this painful chapter. Each of these cases highlights the persistence of investigators and the enduring hope of victims' families. While some answers came decades later, the pursuit of justice never truly ends.